Welcome everyone, Doc here with Eyes Wide Shot Gaming, and today we're going to take a gander at the different types of rare encounters, eggs, and treasures that we can come across in PalWorld. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to our channel to stay up to date on all the videos and information for PalWorld. Also, don't hesitate to comment on what you would like to see Eyes Wide Shot Gaming cover and go over in our next PalWorld video. It's been a solid few days since the release of PalWorld, and at this point many of us have fallen into a comfortable lull of catching pals, going after faction leaders, and even doing the occasional dungeon or two. But for those of us who are still seeking out better ways to prosper, here are some great methods. If you as a player want to go forward at a faster pace to see where PalWorld all goes, I suggest going into the difficulty options and setting it to custom. Therefore, being able to swap the amount of experience gained, how often pals will spawn amongst you in the world, as well as many other preferences for your gameplay. For those of us that enjoy the grind, there are many more candid ways to go about building up your character as well as the pals you collect along the way. Once we get to a certain point where the pals we encounter are becoming a little bit more on the difficult side due to either the level gap or power difference, my recommendation is to start seeking out Effigys as well as pal souls. The Effigys are there for you to have a better catch rate and not to have to carry so many pal spheres all the time. Meanwhile, the pal souls, which range from small to large, will enhance a pal of your choosing in either health, attack, or whichever stat you feel will best suit your pal and or your playstyle using that pal. So how do we go about starting our crusade through the lands finding pal souls and Effigys? Simple. Once our base becomes a little more self-sufficient and doesn't require us to clang away at rocks or and trees every 5 minutes, we get to breathe a sigh of relief and begin our journey. I've attached a map to start us off on Effigys in the world. Now, depending on which island you chose to start from, you can mark a path of best efficiency to take and collect these Effigys. Along the way from Effigy statue to Effigy statue, we must remember that these only benefit our catch rate, so in order for our pal to gain power, we need to get the pal souls too. Some of the best ways to find small pal souls are just by being attentive and spotting them randomly in the world. These pal souls resemble a blue wisp encased in ice. Meanwhile, the medium will be pink and the large will be yellow. The higher in power we go for these pal souls, the more difficult it will become to seek them out randomly. So our second method is to find them within treasure chests. As you can see here, I've put up a map of all the treasure chests in PalWorld, which can be used to go hand in hand with the previous map of the Effigys, letting us go between finding an effigy to benefit our catch rate and finding a treasure chest to make some gold, find some random items, as well as hopefully find a pal soul. This is all fine and dandy, adventuring amongst the islands finding both treasures, pal souls, and Effigys, but we unfortunately have an encumbrance to our character, and at some point we'll need to return to our base to empty our inventory so that we can return to being PalWorld's version of Lewis and Clark. I've put up a third map here showing all the teleport points which coincide with many boss enemies. These teleport points will help you in getting back to the last location or as close as possible to it so that you don't need to begin your journey from your base every time when looking for these rarities. As you invest those Effigys into your character and the pal souls into your main pal, we can begin to fight these alphas or bosses, letting us gain either a large and powerful new pal or a great story of how a building-sized pal tore your arm off mid-combat. Regardless of what you choose to do during your pioneering adventure for these Effigys, treasure chests, and alpha battles, we mustn't overlook the importance of finding eggs throughout PalWorld. There is a massive variety of eggs ranging in both element and size, which require an incubator to hatch at your base. Depending on what type of egg you are incubating, the timer will vary with the temperature of where you've decided to incubate them. These eggs can spawn either a pal that you have a multitude of, all the way to some of the rarest and most unique pals in the game. There are many more features in the game that can assist you in becoming a master of PalWorld, but this method is my favorite, and I find to be the most efficient if you are playing on a regular or even hard difficulty. All of these maps you've seen here have been used from naguide.com. I will leave a link down in the description below if you want to visit the website and find more helpful maps like pal locations, skill fruit tree maps, traveling merchant locations, and many more. I hope this video helps you in your exploration of PalWorld as well as enhances your experience of the game itself. And as always, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and until next time, so long.